Well, hey everybody, I'm John Rethlin. This is my review of AHS 1984, Episode 8, titled Rest in Pieces. We are near the finale. The finale is legit next week, so that's pretty damn close to it. Going to be interesting to see how they finish this season off, mainly because it's been my one complaint about American Horror Story. Every season has either finished really strongly or really badly, and I mean, that happens with a lot of series, but that tends to be an issue with American Horror Story, so I hope it's a strong finale because you need a really, big conclusion, big finale. I've said the word finale so many times, so I'm now going to say finale. So with the finale up next week, we start with one day before Halloween 1989, the Camp Redwood Music Festival. Brooke and Donna are in a restaurant talking about, what they're going to do. Brooke wanting to kill Margaret for taking away 5 years of her life, framing her for murder she did not commit. Donna tells Brooke, well, maybe you'll be the final girl. Brooke's like, final girl? Well, yeah, every horror movie has a final girl, one that lives to tell the tale after all this stuff. She says to Donna, well, maybe you'll be the final girl. Donna laughs, a black final girl? No, they usually, it's like, usually I would die first, which is fair because that actually tends to be the case in a lot of horror movies. A black person usually does die first. Suddenly, a press lady shows up. Talks about how Brooke, she suddenly looks like Brooke. It's like, oh, you look like that woman that was in jail and everything, and the one that did all those murders. Oh, but that's a really great costume. She's like, oh yeah, I get that a lot, thanks. But the news lady tends to suspect things, press, news, whatever you want to call it. She works for a National Enquirer, so it doesn't really count. But she talks about going to the Camp Redwood Music Festival and talking to her and everything, and Donna and Brooke are a little worried, but Brooke's especially worried, like she recognized me, and Donna's like, how can you? Or how can she? You're dead. And then we go to near Camp Redwood, the hitchhiker, from the beginning, walking along. Bruce picks him up. And, Bruce has no thumbs, but somehow is still able to drive. But how did Bruce get free from being tied to that post? We flash back, lady in a pink car, Mary Kay car, possibly Mary Kay herself. We never really find out. Is being trapped in the trunk. How'd she get trapped in the trunk? Well, she frees him, and then he chokes her out and then puts her in the trunk because he's a killer, and you should have just left him out there to rot. So how does this factor in? Well, wait, they suddenly hear noises. What exactly is going on? Oh, the lady's in the trunk trying to get attention. She's trying to get free. I mean, who wouldn't want to break free? That song is in your head now. And Bruce ends up stabbing her. So, okay, we've got more murders going on. Of course, it is all about slashers, 1980s slashers, so what else would it do? We then go to Kajagoogoo being dead in the tour bus, like they were in episode 7, and Courtney, the short midget guy, and Margaret are talking, and Margaret says, well, chop them up in little pieces and get rid of them. We got to make this music festival mean something. Kajagoogoo is dead, but you got to clean up bodies. And then he suddenly hears, their music. Well, because they were killed at the camp, now they're alive. I mean, well, ghostly. And they're playing their one-hit song, Too Shy. But anyway, Richard and Jingles suddenly start tangling in another sequence. And Jingles is like, well, I'm going to kill you here. But Richard's like, well, I gave my soul to Satan, so guess what? I can leave this camp, but you killed yourself. You can't leave this camp, and you ain't going to be able to kill me. But they tangle, they fall down a hill. Bruce ends up hitting Jingles with the car. They have a bit of a discussion. Bruce wants revenge on Brooke and Donna for taking his thumbs. Understandable, even though he's a killer. I mean, yeah, I'd want revenge on the people who took my thumbs. The news lady shows up at Donna and Brooke's hotel and says, well, hey, I know your secret. Shows a tape, shows that Donna was the one that revived Brooke somehow, and they strike a deal with her and say, we'll give you a better story. We'll show you how Margaret was the one that perpetrated all these murders in 1970 and in 1984, and it'll be an even better story, and then you can let us go. You can just forget that you heard about this. She's like, intrigued. So they go off for that, and Richard and the hitchhiker, well, not Richard, but Jingles and the hitchhiker have a chat about death and how it gets easier every single time. When you're a ghost, you feel everything, but it gets easier to deal with every single time. And so, yeah, Jingles is just all, freaked out and everything because he wants to save his son, but he also wants to kill Richard before Richard can leave and, go kill his son in Alaska, which Richard has said he's going to do for breaking the whole pact with Satan thing. And And Montana and Trevor are in the afterglow. They're talking, and Trevor's talking about, I don't want to go back to my life. Why don't I just stay here? Why don't I just stay here with you? Because he loves Montana. To be fair, it's Billy Lord. How could you not love her? She is really awesome. And apparently they are both good at the sex, is what the implication with this scene was. So, okay, it seems like everything's going to be going good. Well, we get a little bit later a scene, we figure out, no. Richard wants vengeance. Jingles ends up stabbing Xavier while everybody's like looking around this body. Well, Bruce, Richard, and Xavier, and Cody Fern, of course. And, of course, Ghost getting stabbed, it doesn't really matter. They don't stay dead for very long. And then Margaret ends up shooting Jingles. So he dies, but then he comes back. And she says, I need all the killers I can get, because she wants to murder everybody at this festival. They say, except Billy Idol. Leave Billy Idol alone. Okay, fine. Jingles gets strung up by the campers. They want to kill him, pretty much like a scene in the previous episodes. And that says to Montana, well, by the way, you were Richard's inspiration. Maybe not intended to be, but you were Richard's inspiration. He started killing because of you. So they suddenly look at her weird. And she realizes, how she's a bit dark and everything. And, oh, yeah, all the ghosts have been killing people. So, yeah, maybe they aren't exactly innocent. Brooke wants to kill the news lady because she doesn't want her story getting out. Donna stops her. News lady runs. She gets killed by Richard while Bruce and Margaret watch. And so, yeah, we get all that. We get Trevor wanting to stay with Montana. She doesn't want to stay with him. She's like, I'm vicious. I'm evil. You could not be like me. I don't want to be with you. Get away. I'm thinking she's doing this so he can go on and live his life and not live a life in purgatory. That's my guess. That was never actually said, but that's just my guess. Jingles then gets killed and put in a boat. And then we get a reenactment of, Friday the 13th, the end of the first one where Jingle's body gets dragged from a boat underwater and everything. But then he's suddenly alive on the shore and he's talking to his mother and he's talking to his brother and they're all, in their prime because of when they died. And oh wait, you could stay with us. You could stay. You can just live a life of peace. You don't have to worry about killing anymore, despite the fact it's at Camp Redwood, and that's all that goes on at that place. And that's where it ends. So it's a bit of an odd ending. It looks like the finale, because I'm not going to say finale anymore, even though it just did, is going to have a whole lot of blood. It's going to have a whole lot of everything, and we're going to tie everything up in a neat little bow, hopefully. It'll be interesting to see how the finale goes. So I enjoyed the episode. I'm going to be interested to see how they conclude this. If they conclude it well, great. If they don't, I'm going to be pretty disappointed because this season started out pretty hot. So anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.